Zips Basketball with John Groce, presented by Wentz Financial Group, is brought to you by Suma Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, proud to be the host hotel of Zips Basketball. By your Akron Canton Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers. The Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna. And Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another week of University of Akron basketball with head coach John Groce, brought to you by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, just 4 regular season games left, including Tuesday night at Bowling Green, Saturday afternoon back home against Miami as the Zips get ready for the Final Four and hopefully a long tournament run into March. And head coach John Groce, it's one of those weeks where we didn't win a game, but we played very well, showed some toughness, and I think in your mind getting a little bit better.
For sure. You know, obviously sometimes you don't, it works out, sometimes you win and you don't play well, and then sometimes you play well and you don't, you know, it works that way sometimes, unfortunately. As we all know, Joe, for all of us, sometimes life's not fair, you know. So at the end of the day, I thought we did some good things. I thought, you know, looking back on it, we played about 60 minutes of the 80 this past week really, really well. Maybe as good as we've played in conference play. And obviously didn't get the outcomes that we wanted, but the guys fought. You know, I respect and appreciate how hard they played. At the end of the day, give the two teams credit. Ball State, I think, won again yesterday, big at home against Toledo, I think, and is playing well. So won 6 out of 7. You know, obviously the game at Kent, the rivalry game, great atmosphere. Thought our kids really showed up and played well in that one as well. And we just didn't get over the hump. I thought execution of some little details, in particular in the Kent game, ended up getting us at the end.
You know, as a coach, sometimes it's more than X and O's. After they play so hard for you, it's tough to go in and talk to those guys and say, listen, you're giving me everything you got, but it's not showing up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we're going to evaluate everything by our standards. And the reality of it is we got beat by Kent because of some execution things late in the game. It didn't have anything to do with effort. It didn't have anything to do with our morale or our camaraderie or our body language or attitude. Those were issues a few weeks ago. And I think we've gotten better all season long with those, and wanted to make sure we laid that down as our foundation for our program as we move forward. And we're making a lot of progress there, and I thought that's a good thing. Thought we got contributions from a lot of guys over the course of this past week. And we've got to continue to build on it here heading into the Bowling Green game.
There you go. Right now, let's go back to Rhodes Arena this past Tuesday night. Ball State, the Cardinals are in town, and last time we saw these guys, it was a heck of a game over in Muncie. Of course, first half highlights brought to you by Suma Health Systems. We're going to see a great individual performance from Malcolm DeVivier, coach. He just was all over the place with 26 points. And he's playing well for you.
Had a great week for us, and obviously played really well in this game. I thought our team played pretty well. In fact, we led for 22 minutes, and the score was tied for another 3. So 25 of the 40, we led or it was tied. So we played well. At the end of the day, it's 67-61. There's a bang-bang 50-50 call. Say that because we're on the air. On Utomi's charge. On the baseline that fouls him out, and from 67-61, I thought Ball State took command of the game from there. But our kids battled and fought, especially against their inordinate size. They're one of the bigger teams in the league at 3, 4, and 5.
Malcolm shooting the ball very well here, a jump shot for 3. Of course, right at the end of the first half, Coach, we had an inbounds play that got picked off, and we would have gone into the halftime with the lead.
We would have. Not a very smart play by us there. You know, we've got to be more poised there, see the game, read the game, make a better decision, just eat the ball at that point. But we had, freshmen inbounding it, continuing to learn, grow, and get better.
You told me hitting a shot. He played awful well last week, too. He's really shooting it well.
Had a good week and played well at both ends. We're asking an awful lot of Dan. Obviously, he's playing between 35 and 40 minutes every night, closer to the 40 number here this past week, playing multiple positions. And Dan has done a good job for us, and excited about him moving forward, not only this year but beyond.
3 players in double figures for the Zips. As we said, DeVivier with 26, Ivy with 13, Parrish with 11. Talking about Utomi, We'll talk about next year a little bit later down the week, but once you get some more big guys in there, he can go maybe back to his regular position.
No question. And we already have big guys. It's just two of them are hurt and one of them can't play.
Exactly.
So they're sitting over there, but right now not able to put them in the game for those two reasons. And yes, that would be the plan, certainly. We didn't come into the year planning for E-Man to have open heart surgery and Jaden to tear tendons in his wrist. So, it is what it is. I think the Marine slogan or mantra is improvise, adapt, and overcome, and that's what we've tried to do. I thought our guys did a very good job of that this past week. We've just got to try to get over the hump with a few execution details.
Exactly. Of course, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, our feature this week, we're going to take a look at the freshman class at the University of Akron, have a few comments on them. So don't go away. We're back right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
I imagine everyone to be my mother, my father.
Truly give of yourself, to give of your heart.
I just treat them like I would want to be treated.
To feel like they're a welcome guest of ours.
Being genuine, by showing compassion for others.
By going above and beyond.
You're not just there as a provider, but there to help them on a personal level.
With every patient, every day, Summa Health delivers personal, life-changing care.
Well, there's always a big adjustment going from high school to Division I basketball, going from junior college to Division I basketball. Head coach John Groce brought in 6 young men playing their first year of basketball. Let's watch this right now.
My name is Jaden Sales.
I'm Eric Parrish.
My name is Mark Kostelak.
My name is Tori Patton.
My name is Rashawn Cotton.
My name is Sheena Badabo.
Well, I had a few smaller D1 offers on the table at first, and then when Akron came into play, I took my official visit, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the team. I enjoyed the atmosphere in the gym during the game, and shortly after that, I committed.
I originally went to Side Springs High School and graduated in 2016, but after that, I ended up going to a prep school in Bel Air, Kansas, called Sunrise Christian, and I think it just prepared me, showing me how to work, and before college, getting my body more, bigger, stronger, and just preparing me for the next level, and I think it did a good job. Well, I started off at my high school, Trotwood. I wasn't really heavily recruited going through my high school season, and around my senior year, my last couple games, I got an offer from Akron.
I went to Notre Dame Cathedral Latin up in Chardon, Ohio, graduated in 2016. Had a couple of schools looking at me, but I wanted to go prep, so I moved down to Florida, went to IMG Academy to train. A lot of schools started recruiting me, but when I visited Akron, everything felt right. I loved the coach, loved the style of play, so I signed with Akron.
My overall experience, it's actually been fun. My mom, she told me how college would be, trying not to get stuck up with girls and parties and stuff like that, and being more focused on basketball. But overall, it's been a fun experience. It's been the best experience of my life.
It's amazing. On the court, I've learned a lot from Coach Groce and the staff, and even my teammates. And in the classroom, Miss Ann's helped me a lot with my classes and keeping my grades up.
Favorite moment was probably my first game against Cleveland State. I got a block off the backboard and the crowd went wild, and then that followed by Malcolm DeVivier's dunk on their center.
It would have to be Sean's game winner. Just showing the fight he had, coming back, bringing us back and carrying the team, and what he was able to do at the end, that was big time, especially for a freshman. And seeing him do that, it made me happy.
It's a good freshman class. At a lot of schools, to see this many freshmen play at one time is not typical. We got a lot of injuries going on, but still, even before that, Coach put his trust in the freshmen. He's really trying to build this program up. So, I love being around the freshmen. As you see, we all friends, we all close, and just hopefully we can all build together for the next 4 years and stay together.
I'll tell you, Coach, what's the biggest adjustment? Is it the X's and O's? Is it the mental part of the game coming from high school or junior college to D1?
Great question, Joe, because most people would think it's the X's and O's.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a part of it because terminology is different, system's different. But I think it's a major change. You're talking about a major social change, academic change, spiritual change, emotional change, in addition to the athletic parts. And so it is. I mean, it's an adjustment. Obviously, Parrish talked about his experience being at Sunrise, so that allowed him maybe to get a little bit of a jump start. Same thing with Tolles, who'll be coming in. He's been at Fork Union and now State Fair. So he'll be at a little bit more of an advantage because he's used to being away from home. Managing your own time, thinking you have more free time than what you actually have. All those things I think are challenges for those guys. Obviously, our job is to help them with that. That's what we're here for. I always tell them all, I said, if you knew everything or knew how to do everything, what the heck would you need us for?
Exactly.
So it's a good group. We've enjoyed working with them.
Hope you enjoyed meeting those 6 young men. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll take a look at highlights from that big game at Kent State on Saturday, right after this.
At the Wentz Financial Group, listening to clients, understanding their needs, evaluating their risk tolerance, and finding solutions to help them meet their goals is our ultimate responsibility. Because at the end of the day, we treat every client like their family and manage every dollar like it's ours.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Our strength is our legacy.
Boundless innovation, fueled by our tradition.
At the University of Akron, our path forward is here and now.
Every day, we push ourselves to do what others won't. Akron raises champions.
Akron nurtures genius.
Because just when you think we're finished, we're just getting started.
That's what makes us
the University of Akron.
Well, for a long time, I called the Akron-Kent State basketball rivalry the best in mid-major basketball in the entire country. And let's go back and take a look at the intense rivalry. Game number 1, Akron against Kent State this past Saturday over at Kent. And, Coach, you got your first taste of that one.
Oh, it's great. What an environment in there. Great environment. Thought both teams played really well for the bulk of the game. It was a hard-fought game. And at the end of the day, we have a 4-point lead with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I got to give Avery a lot of credit, scoring all 16 of his points in the last 5 minutes of the game. Talk about a guy stepping up when his team needed him. And, we didn't help matters, but we made some defensive mistakes and had some bust on offense there. Our execution was not great in the last 5 minutes, but I'm not going to take away from the effort that our guys gave, the grit that we showed, especially when we got off to a rough start to start the second half, and then came back on a 17-4 run to take a 5-point lead there. I thought we did some good things throughout.
I thought Malcolm DeVier and also Utomi played excellent for you Saturday. They played
really played well, both ends of the floor. Thought they were really locked in. For us to finish them off, obviously, Jamon's got to play a little bit better than he played here in round 1 of the rivalry, and I know he knows that. I know he's capable of playing better, and I'm confident that he will moving forward.
I think, Coach, with about 5 minutes left in the game, I think we're up by 5 when we've got the ball. And I mentioned on the radio that's a key point of the game right there.
No
if
question.
We convert there, it may be a different story.
No question. 58, I think it was 58-54 with 5:04 to go.
Right.
And we had a chance to kind of distance ourselves there and get it to what you're calling that 3-possession number.
Exactly.
And, we didn't. We didn't execute out of a timeout. We had a busted switch. We didn't play a pick and roll coverage correctly. And those things come back to haunt you. You may be able to make those mistakes earlier in the game because then you've got time to come back. But when there's 4 or 5 minutes left to go at winning time, you've got to focus on your job and do your job well. And I didn't think our execution was great late.
As you mentioned on the radio after the game, Coach, we'll see them at least once and maybe twice again.
Yeah, round 2 will be here shortly.
Exactly.
We enjoyed it. I mean, I thought support staff, players, it was great in terms of preparing for the game. Rob does a good job with his team, and it was a really good basketball game yesterday. 10 points doesn't tell the story. I mean, it was 64-61 with a minute to go. So it was it was a hard-fought game.
Right now it's time for Whose Stock is Rising, brought to you each week by the Wentz Financial Group. Freshman Vershawn Cotton continues to help off the bench or in a starting role, averaged 7 points last week, and we're going to take a quick look at him right here, Coach, hitting a jumper.
Yeah, he made some plays for us. Sean's one of those guys that, obviously the more aggressive he is and trying to find that balance right now for him between scoring and making guys better. We've got to get more assist out of our point guards than what we're getting right now. Both of them are very capable of scoring and have that ability and skill. But we've also got to know how to run our team and get other guys involved, and that's been a work in progress with both of those guys, but he's definitely made some plays for us.
Exactly. Congratulations to that young man. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to announce our Player of the Week. No surprise who it's going to be. We're back right after this.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.
Please follow Sir Brad. He's going to give you a private tour of the Pit of Misery.
I'm sorry, what?
Pit of Misery. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
It takes H-Jacks Plumbing and Heating to keep your home comfortable this winter. Find us at hjacks.com.
Well, right now it's time to name our Player of the Week, and what a week he had. Malcolm DeVivier averaged 26.5 points a game, joined a 1,000-point club, Coach, and when you brought him in here with 1 year left, I don't think he's disappointed you one bit, has he?
No, he's done a great job for us. Obviously, the best thing, and I always say this about him, is that he's a two-way player. He defends and he plays offense. So from that standpoint, he's been a great addition to our team. Obviously had a great week. I thought he shot the ball really well. Thought he looked fresh and competitive. We've tried to manage those guys in terms of how we practice them due to the fact they're playing so many minutes. But, congratulations to him on joining the 1,000-point club. Obviously he's been a very efficient offensive shooter, especially from long range and mid range his entire career, not only here at Akron, but obviously at Oregon State as well.
You told us he was an outstanding shooter, but boy, he's got some explosiveness going to the hoop too.
He does. He's a good athlete vertically. He's got good feet laterally. Obviously, he's a physically strong player. He's one of the most physically strong point guards that I've ever coached. But he's done a great job for us, and thrilled that we took him, thrilled that we've had him. He's played well. I mean, he really has. He's been very consistent, especially with his shooting and his on-ball defense.
What is his potential maybe to play at the next level someplace?
I think he can play professionally for sure. Yeah. Where that ends up being and how that ends up taking place, obviously we'll see here in the spring.
Exactly, but he's been a great addition to the University of Akron basketball program. Malcolm DeVivier, our Player of the Week, who averaged 26.5 points for this past week. Right now it's time to go to our hot seat question, brought to you each week by Brian Heating and Cooling. And this week we put the freshman, Torrey Patton, right on the hot seat.
Any hidden talents?
I'm actually good at drawing.
Team Captain America or Team Iron Man?
Team Captain America.
Favorite pregame song?
Anything McMill.
Ketchup, mustard, or onion?
Mustard.
First car?
Impala.
Burritos or tacos?
Tacos.
Most surprising song on your iPod?
Justin Bieber.
Go back in time or back to the future?
Back in time.
Neat freak or clutterbug?
Neat freak.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Favorite NBA player growing up?
Kobe Bryant.
In your opinion, who is the GOAT?
Kobe for sure.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Soda or pop?
Pop.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
What's in your gym bag that might surprise people?
A Bible.
I'll tell you, Torrey Patton is one of those guys. He seems like he never changes expression on the floor. Very quiet kid. I don't know how he is in practice.
Yeah, he reminds me, you're right, he is in practice the same way, and we're trying to get him to be more verbal. But he reminds me, growing up on Sundays, I'd watch those great Celtics-Lakers games, and Robert Parrish, remember Robert, the Chief?
Sure.
He was so expressionless and stoic. And that's how Torrey's the same way.
Saw Torrey Patton down at the state tournament last year against St. Vincent St. Mary. That was really the game, I think, that put him on the radar.
It was. Obviously, I watched that film after I got the job at Akron, and he had a great game against a very, very good team. And I believe they had played him earlier in the year as well.
You're
and
right.
He had a great game in that. And that one is also. And obviously, that's hard to do against St. V's. They're a great program, very well coached, and have had a lot of great players, as we all know.
Always fun to take a look at our players, and Torrey Patton on the hot seat today. We're going to take a break. When we come back, as we said, the Zips busy again this week at Bowling Green on Tuesday, home to Miami on Saturday at 2 o'clock. We're back to talk about those two games right after this.
I trust them. I trust them with my life.
I don't know if I would be here today without all of their help and their support.
They were out of this world fabulous.
They treated me like I was a guest more than a patient.
The caregivers really are the true rock stars, aren't they?
Every patient deserves and should have the care that I'm getting at Suma.
I'm cancer-free because of them.
With every patient, every day, Suma Health delivers personal, life-changing care.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Well, it's time to look ahead to this week's action. As we said, the Zips over at Bowling Green on Tuesday night to take on the Falcons, a team that we beat earlier in the season, Coach, 80-78 back on January 13th. But both teams have changed since then.
Yeah, quite a bit. Obviously, that was the game where we lost Jaden late in the game and then had to find a way with that 14-point lead to hold on for dear life. Cotton makes the big shot, as Parrish alluded to earlier in the freshman special that we did there, and found the way to grind it out and win. Obviously, I feel like we're playing a lot better. It's going to take everybody playing well Tuesday night when we go into the Stroh Center to come out of there, with a win. We've got to do a great job of defending the interior. I think DiMaggio Wiggins has really improved. And so it'll be a great challenge for us.
You got Justin Turner, who's one of the better, I think, guards in the league. So looking back at what we did to win that game back in January, you got to make some changes then? Everything's adjusted?
Well, we'll have to make some adjustments. We're a totally different team now. Kostelak's playing more. Sales is not playing at all. And I thought that day we played with a ton of emotion. That was post-E-man surgery, a day or two. And so we've got to be ready to go from the standpoint of execution is what I'm going to be hitting them with a lot this week, Joe. Because I think our effort's starting to get to where we need it to get from a consistency standpoint. You can't ever assume it's going to be there. You have to make that choice, and I'm going to continue to drive them in that direction. But, we've got to execute a little bit better to ultimately get over the hump with this team.
You talk about the freshmen hitting that freshman wall. We just met 6 of the young guys that are playing for you this year. Is that something that normally happens? Some guys work their way through that mentally and physically? Or
I think probably with this group more mental than anything else. Now, obviously, us and Bowling Green have probably played more freshmen than anyone in the entire league this year in terms of minutes per game. But having said that, none of our guys are playing 35 to 40 like Utomi, DeVivier, and Ivy are.
Gotcha.
So from a physical standpoint, yes, it's more taxing than normal. I think the biggest area is mental, and you mentioned that. I think the mental toughness of how long the season is, how many games you play, traveling more than you would normally, longer distances, plus trying to balance academic work at the collegiate level. All those things we talked about earlier with a freshman that has to take place in their transition.
Exactly. Then on Saturday afternoon, the Zips come right back home to take on the Miami Redhawks. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip-off at Rhodes Arena, a team that we lost to down in Oxford back in January, 79-64. You talk about a young group. That's a pretty talented young group at Miami.
They are as well, and I probably should have added them in as the third team that's playing a lot of freshmen. I thought in that game we got off to a terrific start, which we've done quite a bit. And then after that, I just thought we weren't very good. I didn't think we were good in a lot of areas that we've improved upon since. And I thought they really took it to us after that initial start. So we'll have to be ready to go when they show up in here on Saturday.
And they've got that real good point guard out of Indiana, right?
Ringo, who makes it difficult to run offense. We've got to do a good job of dealing with him here in the second game of the week.
Exactly. As we said, just 4 games left in the regular season. Hope to see a lot of fans out at the Rhodes Arena on Saturday. That'll be a 2 o'clock game against the Miami Redhawks. And of course, we'll be back here next week to talk more University of Akron basketball. Thanks to head coach John Groce. My name's Joe Dunn. And as always, remember, go Zips.
Zips Basketball with John Groce, presented by Wentz Financial Group, was brought to you by Summa Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, proud to be the host hotel of Zips Basketball. By your Akron Canton Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers. The Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna. And Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.